Cabin contaminated.
Ash takes form.
Neutralized.
Gotcha.
Combat mode.
Entombed in daybreak. My scalpel etches your epitaph. Rise anew.
Charge.
Veins exposed. Blink. And agony ends. A bearable price. Now, that's more like it. Return to silence!
Error.
Right on schedule. Gotcha. Rise anew! Game over. Entombed in daybreak. I deliver merciful death. Accurate. Imbalance ends here. Time to incise. Blink, and agony ends. Ash, a bearable price. Game over. Finally, some blood. Return to silence! Imbalance ends here. Gotcha. Now, that's more like it. Blink, and agony ends. Bullseye. Rise anew. Right on schedule. I deliver merciful death. Entombed in daybreak. Ash takes form. Rot, resected. A bearable price. Return to silence. Finally, some blood. Rise anew. Entombed in daybreak. Ash takes form. Return to silence! I deliver merciful death. Imbalance ends here. Veins exposed. Blink, and agony ends. Right on schedule. Shame, just one misstep. Rise anew. Time to incise. Return to silence. Imbalance ends here. I bestow eternal peace. Entombed in daybreak. Right on schedule.
The ignorant shall doom.
Reaction. Ash takes form. Rot, resected. Blink, and agony ends. Rise anew. Time to incise. A bearable price. Entombed in daybreak.
Even with the body perished, hope.
Right on schedule. Ash takes form. Return to silence. I bestow eternal peace. Imbalance ends here. Game over. Rot, resected. Blink, and agony ends. Right on schedule. Gotcha. Rise anew. Veins exposed. Game over. A bearable price. Finally, some blood. I deliver merciful death. Right on schedule. Ash takes form. Time to incise. Rot, resected. Return to silence. Rise anew. Game over. A bearable price. Veins exposed. Blink, and agony ends. Right on schedule. Imbalance ends here. Entombed in daybreak. I bestow eternal peace. Bullseye. Ash takes form. Rot, resected. Blink, and agony ends. Rise anew. Time to incise. Right on schedule. Return to silence. My scalpel etches your epitaph. Imbalance ends here. Time to incise. Entombed in daybreak. Ash takes form. Blink, and agony ends. My scalpel etches your epitaph. Imbalance ends here. Veins exposed. Return to silence. Rise anew. Blink, and and agony ends. Right on schedule. Shame. Imbalance ends here. Time to incise. Rot. Resected. Yeah. Entombed in daybreak. I deliver merciful death. Rise anew. Right on. Gotcha. Return to silence. Ash takes form. Game over. Entombed in daybreak. Accurate prediction. Reaction. Rise anew. Veins exposed. A bearable price. Right on schedule. Shame. Blink. And agony at my scalpel etches your epitaph. Imbalance ends here. Return to silence. Bullseye. Ash takes form. Rot. Resected. Blink. And agony ends. Game over. I bestow eternal peace. Gotcha. Entombed in daybreak. Ash takes form. Right on schedule. Rise anew. Yeah. Return to silence. I deliver merciful death. Right on schedule. Imbalance ends here. Rot. Resected. Entombed in daybreak. Rise anew. Gotcha. Finally, some blood. Blink. And agony ends. Ash takes form. Imbalance ends here. Game over. Veins exposed. Return to silence. I deliver merciful death. Time to incise. Yeah. Ash takes form. Rot. Resected. Entombed in daybreak. A deep incision. Rise anew. Yeah. Blink. And agony ends. Shame. Imbalance ends here. My scalpel etches your epitaph. Rise anew. Return to silence. Reaction. Ash takes form. Time to incise. Blink, and agony ends. Bullseye. Imbalance ends here. Entombed in daybreak, I deliver merciful death. Rise anew. Game over. Return to silence. Ash takes form. Gotcha. Blink, and agony ends. Reaction, start. Imbalance ends here. Game over. Gotcha. Entombed in daybreak, I bestow eternal peace. Ash takes form. A bearable price. Veins exposed. Blink, and agony ends. Right on schedule. Rise anew. Time to incise. Return to silence. Imbalance ends here. Entombed in daybreak. Ash takes form. Blink, and agony ends. I bestow eternal peace. Rise anew. A bearable price. Entombed in daybreak. Finally, some blood. Imbalance ends here. Rot resected. Ash takes form.
Oneness.
My past gets deeper. A deep incision. Return to silence. My scalpel etches your epitaph. A bearable price. Rise anew. Finally, some blood. Time to incise. Imbalance ends here. Imbalance ends here. Game over.
Destroy. Eliminate. Obstruction.
Time to incise. Blink. And agony ends. A bearable price.
For what cause
Rise anew.
do you refuse?
Finally, some blood. Return to silence! Ash takes form.
Flawed trajectory.
Gotcha. I deliver merciful death. Rot resected! Blink, and agony ends. Rise anew! Time to incise.
Eliminate. Obstruction.
Entombed in daybreak. Imbalance ends here. Game over. Now, that's more like it. Rot resected!
Start.
Blink, and agony ends. The action starts. Ash takes form. Veins exposed. My scalpel etches your epitaph. Entombed in daybreak. Shame. Imbalance ends here. Gotcha. Return to silence.
Must.
Rise anew.
Rescue. Target locked.
The incision has to be clean. Don't want to mess for suturing.